We've heard it all before. Never turn your back on an opponent or you'll be sorry. Or never turn your back to the enemy or they will attack you from behind. But have you ever turned your back to something or someone and lived to tell the tale? If you have, then you know just how scary this can be. From moving dolls to deadly enemies, here are some scary things that can happen when you turn your back. Moving dolls. Have you ever seen one of those horror movies where a doll is sitting in a dark corner of a room and then suddenly it moves? But what if this was to happen in real life? Imagine you're at home, alone in the dark when you hear a noise. You ignore it, assuming it was just your imagination. Then you feel a cold breeze on the back of your neck and you turn around to see a life-size doll slowly swiveling its head towards you, a wide grin plastered on its face. Dolls are already creepy enough when you think about it. They're designed to look like humans but aren't actually alive. This uncanny valley is what makes them so unsettling. But if they were to move on their own accord, then they would become straight up terrifying. And while there's no scientific evidence that dolls can move on their own, there are plenty of urban legends and creepypastas that suggest otherwise. Check out the moving finger puppet story. Posted by user Terminus Est on Reddit, it shares a creepy encounter with a puppet that moves on its own. The poster describes how the puppet would move on its own and even interact with other objects in the room. It's a chilling tale that has all the makings of a classic horror movie. So if you're ever at home alone in the dark, better Google how to exercise a finger puppet just in case. Deadly enemies. Another thing you should never turn your back on is a deadly enemy. We've heard this warning all our lives, and it makes sense. If you're in a fight and your back is turned to your opponent, then you're much more vulnerable to attack. But it's not just physical danger that comes with turning your back on an enemy. There's also the risk of psychological harm as well. For example, being caught off guard or ambushed can cause intense fear and trauma. These experiences can lead to post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and other mental health problems. That's why it's so important to always be aware of your surroundings and never let your guard down. Even if you think you're safe, always be prepared for anything because you never know when an enemy might strike. In addition to physical and psychological harm, turning your back on an enemy can also damage your reputation and relationships. If you're seen as someone who is weak or vulnerable, then people may lose respect for you and be less likely to trust or help you in the future. That's why it's so important to always project an image of strength and confidence, even when you're feeling scared or unsure. By doing so, you'll not only protect yourself physically and mentally, but also maintain your dignity and standing within your community. But do you have any stories of things that happened when you turned your back? Let me know in the comments below.